Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Man, it is a super lazy Sunday down here. It's been lazy since, the day before Thanksgiving, like back on Wednesday. It's been mostly gray. We haven't had a huge amount of rain, but it's just been kind of gray and rainy and drizzly, and ergo the house isn't warming up that much. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm still kind of got the computer set up in the bed working from my little nightstand over here. Now, I haven't been that lazy. I've been up a little bit. I've actually been up. I've been down to the house. I've done a little bit of cleaning on my cabin. So I've gotten some things done. It's not like I've just been laying here all day, but I just kind of keep coming back here to do anything I need to do on the computer. I posted a video and a recipe in our group this morning, and it kind of sparked the idea for a video. I was posting a recipe, the recipe's irrelevant. It was actually my mango coconut curry ginger thing that I've made a while back. And I started talking about it a little bit, and the point I made on it was the object of the topic of this video today. And I'm talking about satisfaction, like really being satisfied on this lifestyle, which I think is absolutely key. People get so caught up in this whole raw versus cooked. And they get so, even the people that are going for raw, they're almost like there's something about that cooked that's just kind of freaks them out a little bit if they don't get that cooked. And I'm gonna tell you what it is. A lot of this, like I always talk about, is psychological. The mind is very susceptible to suggestion. So you have all these people out here telling you how hard it is to, go from the raw until the cooked, and how hard it is to give up my cooked. I love it when people say that, like they have and I've talked about this a number of times, how they have their special circumstances. And I see people that make comments all the time, and I'm not making fun of that or knocking that or anything. It's just kind of giving you maybe an awareness of some of your own inner chatter, or even some of the things that you say to other people. And it's like, and I've heard other people talk about it as though, well, I have a hard time giving up my cooked food at night, my meat, my cheese, my this, my that. It's like, what's so special? Why is it so hard for you to give up that cooked food? No, I'm asking you. I'm being a defense attorney and I'm grilling you on the stand. Why are you so much different than the other people? What are your special circumstances that make that cooked food so much more necessary for you? There isn't. It's just everything that we've implanted in our mind. I've seen studies on this, like where someone is training somebody to do something or teaching them how to do it, and the psychology of it is huge. Like if you tell someone going into something, this is going to be really difficult and hard for you to learn, it tends to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Whereas if you tell somebody like, oh yeah, I'll be able to show you this pretty easy. I'm gonna be thorough with it, but this is gonna be real easy. You're gonna pick it up like that. People tend to pick that up too. Well, it's the same with suggestions on anything in life. When you're getting these suggestions in your head that makes this raw versus cooked such this huge thing, like it's just like giving up heroin or giving up this or that. It's just kind of tricking your mind. It's really not about the cooked versus raw. I really sincerely believe it's all about being satisfied in the evening. Because let's talk about the evenings. I mean, some people mix it up, but if most people that are trying to go more raw, trying to go fully raw, generally tend to kind of follow that pattern of eating most of their raw during the day, and then they'll eat their cooked in the evening. And it's almost like that evening cooked has become a psychological crutch. If they want to be raw, like I say, I don't harp on eating good, clean, cooked food, but I'm talking about the process for those people that are trying to be fully raw. And like I say, it's all about being satisfied. I can remember many times in the past, this is something I said this morning also. I remember eating a lot of raw food in the past before I knew anything about the raw vegan lifestyle. And I was perfectly satisfied because it was something that was tasty that I liked. I don't have just some little something ingrained in me cooked. It's like when I'm having dinner at night, my mentality is like, what's really good? What do I really like? Because quite honestly, I almost feel like sometimes from the way people are presenting it or talking about their situation, that they just almost have to have something cooked. That they would actually prefer something plain cooked, just like maybe if they were just having plain potatoes and some steamed vegetables or whatever it is. No matter, even if it's not that tasty, they had rather have boring cooked over like a really good raw dish. I mean, people that I would almost think that anybody doing this lifestyle is fully raw at least a few days of the week, simply because there's just so many good raw dishes out there. I was thinking, like, if I was raw till 4 or something, like, I would still probably have to have 2 or 3 days of the week that I was fully raw, just to be able to get some of those dishes that I really like. Because I've got 3 or 4 or 5, maybe even more now, and always increasing, raw dishes that I like better than anything that I've had cooked, or anything that's even on my menu now if I do allow myself cooked. So like I say, it's back to some subtle psychology there. I think people are so focused on cooked versus raw, on a temperature, that they're just not, that they're kind of forgetting about just the not the quality of the food, but the enjoyment of the food and the satisfaction you get from a dish. The dish that I shared that kind of got me thinking on this was, like I said, was my mango coconut curry, blah blah blah. And sometimes I put it over zoodles, and sometimes I put it over rice. I make like a kind of mock cauliflower rice. And that is something that is just as good as anything I ever used to enjoy before I came to this lifestyle. No matter how bad it was for me, no matter how gooey, no matter how rich, I enjoy that. What's another one? Lissa's chili that I make from time to time. Haven't been making it as much as I thought I would. I would get lazy. I'm getting a chopper at Christmas, but that dish, I don't care, cooked raw, whatever. I like that at night. If you give me that as a choice over almost any number of cooked foods, I'm going to take that. So, to finish this one up, don't be so stuck. Always try to be making the best choices. If you will eliminate, it's almost like you kind of make it something bigger in your head. If you will try to focus less on just raw, and making better choices and learning what you're doing in the kitchen. That is such key. I was talking with somebody just a few minutes ago. You have to play in the kitchen. If you're going to be successful on this lifestyle, you either A, have to be mega rich and just hire yourself. That'd be kind of cool. I was thinking the other day, I'm always like not big on money and I don't have a lot of needs, but if I had a buttload of money, I think I'd just hire somebody that was a good raw vegan chef, and I would set my parameters, and I said, okay, I want to be 80, 10, 10 with this, blah, blah, blah. I just say go. So either you got to be rich and be able to have somebody else prepare exactly what you want that's tasty all the time, or you got to get in the kitchen and you got to play around and you got to learn how to create on your own. And if I can do it, I got to think anybody can do it, because I've always been able to take care of myself in the kitchen. So it's not like I'm your typical man that's basically useless in a kitchen, which is not all men, but there's some of us out there, but most men basically are useless. But I do know a lot of people that I know they're much better in the kitchen cooking than I ever was. They know about combining ingredients. They're just not making that jump over from thinking of developing recipes on their own. If you're good in the kitchen, if you've always been a good cook, if people like your food, you're 10 steps ahead of me already, because anything I ever did, even cooking wise, was very basic. So you got to be satisfied. You've got to be satisfied at night, and you're not going to make it on these very austere plain salads. You're not going to do this lifestyle on a salad every night of the week. Even with these super tasty dressings, you have to experiment. You have to create. You have to find, and at least if you aren't able to, if you just don't have it to create on your own, you have to weed through the recipes, find good healthy recipes from people that are doing it, and just learn how to copy them. But you got to be able to do it in the kitchen to satisfy yourself. And then it's not, if you can make good raw meals, it's not so much about raw versus cooked. It will make that struggle so much easier when you learn how to make things that you like. And it's not necessarily my recipes. That's the thing. There's some things that I would never even make a recipe about because they're kind of weird or whatever, but I really like them and I can eat them 4 or 5 nights in a row if I need to. So anyhow, got to be satisfied. Hope you guys like this one. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll hit that subscribe button, and I hope you are having a wonderful week. Love you guys. Peace.